Sandwiched between a generation that won't stop shouting and a generation that won't stop crying, there is you. You are the quiet ones. The ones who don't demand a trophy just for showing up. The ones who don't need a trigger warning before facing reality. You are Generation X, and right now, whether the world admits it or not, you are the only adults left in the room. Think about how you grew up. You were the Latchkey Kids. You walked home alone to empty houses. You drank from the garden hose. You disappeared on your bike for hours with no GPS, no cell phone, and no supervision, with only one rule: be back before the streetlights turn on. You didn't have Google to solve your problems. You had to figure it out. If you got hurt, you rubbed dirt on it. If you got bored, you used your imagination. You were forged in a unique fire, the last generation to have an analog childhood and the first to build the digital adulthood. Today you look around at a world that seems fragile. You see people falling apart over minor inconveniences. You see a culture obsessed with feelings rather than results. You see boomers refusing to let go of power and millennials and Gen Z paralyzed by anxiety. And what do? You do what you have always done. You roll up your sleeves, you sigh, and you fix the mess. You don't post about your struggle on social media for sympathy. You just handle it. You are the designated drivers of a society that is drunk on its own drama. But make no mistake, your silence is not weakness. Your silence is focus. If you are tired of the noise, if you are tired of carrying the weight of the world without a thank you, this video is for you. Today, we are going to talk about why your resilience is the most dangerous and necessary skill in the modern world. Before we dive into the reasons why you are the last adults left standing, I have a question for you, a question only our generation will truly understand. What year were you born? Were you a 70s kid with a key around your neck or an 80s teen navigating a world without cell phones? Drop your birth year in the comments right now. Let's see how many of us are actually here, quietly holding it all together. And if you are tired of the noise and just want the truth, subscribe to the channel. We speak your language here. Now let's look at why your generation, Generation X, is the only one equipped to handle the modern chaos. It is not just nostalgia, it is psychology. You possess 4 distinct traits that no other generation has, and they are the reason you are the ones fixing problems while everyone else is busy complaining. The first reason you resolve everything in silence is simple. You had no other choice. You were the first generation where divorce rates skyrocketed and dual-income households became the norm. This created the Latchkey Kid phenomenon. You came home to an empty house. You made your own snacks. You started your own homework. Or didn't. You entertained yourself for hours until your parents got home. Psychologically, this rewired your brain for self-reliance. When a millennial encounters a problem today, their first instinct is often to crowdsource a solution, to ask social media, to look for a tutorial, to seek validation. When a boomer encounters a problem, their instinct is often to call someone in charge or to complain about how things used to be. But your instinct is, I'll figure it out. You learned early on that no one was coming to save you. No one was watching to see if you fell off your bike. No one was tracking your location. This solitude wasn't neglect to you. It was freedom. It taught you that you are capable. It taught you that if the sink is leaking, you fix it. If the car breaks down, you deal with it. If life gets hard, you keep moving. You don't wait for permission, and you certainly don't wait for help. In a world of helpless people waiting for a savior, your ability to just act makes you incredibly powerful. You have a unique superpower that neither your parents nor your children possess. You are bilingual. You speak analog fluently. You remember card catalogs, rotary phones, writing letters by hand, and reading actual maps. But you also speak digital. You built the internet, you adopted email first, you understand coding and tech. This position as the bridge generation means you are the only ones who can see the full picture. Boomers are often terrified of new technology or refuse to adapt, becoming obsolete. Millennials and Gen Z are often addicted to technology, unable to function without a screen or an app, lacking basic practical skills. You stand in the middle. You can use the technology to solve the problem, but you don't need it to survive. You know how to have a face-to-face conversation that isn't awkward. You know how to read a room, not just a comment section. You can fix the Wi-Fi router and change a flat tire. This makes you the ultimate problem solver in the workplace and in the family. You are the translator. You explain the PDF to your dad, and you explain work ethic to your niece. You are the glue holding the past and the future together, preventing them from falling apart completely. Your generation invented the shrug, the eye roll, the word, whatever. For years, people called this cynicism. They said Gen X didn't care. They were wrong. It wasn't apathy. It was critical thinking. You grew up in an era where institutions began to crumble. You saw the Challenger explode. You saw the Berlin Wall fall. You saw the rise of 24-hour news cycles selling fear. You learned very quickly not to trust everything you were told. You learned that politicians lie, corporations are greedy, and that selling out was the ultimate sin. This skepticism is your armor. While younger generations are easily manipulated by influencers, fake news, and performative activism, you stand back with your arms crossed. You don't jump on bandwagons. You don't join cults. You analyze. When a crisis hits, at work or in the world, everyone else panics. They react emotionally. You, however, engage your skepticism. You ask, is this real? Does it matter? What is the actual solution? You cut through the nonsense. You don't waste energy on virtue signaling or dramatic outbursts. You care about results. This low tolerance for BS allows you to identify the root cause of a problem instantly and solve it without getting distracted by the drama surrounding it. Finally, let's talk about toughness. Modern culture often mistakes stoicism for repression. They say, you need to talk about your feelings more. You need to be vulnerable. But there is a difference between repressing emotions and regulating them. Generation X mastered regulation. You grew up hearing, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. You were bullied on the playground and told to deal with it. You didn't have safe spaces. You didn't have trigger warnings. This toughened your skin. It made you anti-fragile. When things go wrong today, you don't crumble. You don't need a mental health day because the barista got your order wrong. You possess grit. You understand that life is inherently difficult, unfair, and chaotic, and that complaining about it changes nothing. So you suffer in silence, not because you're afraid to speak, but because you know that speaking doesn't fix the leak in the roof. Speaking doesn't pay the mortgage. Speaking doesn't raise the kids. Action does. You carry the burden of aging parents and struggling children simultaneously, the sandwich generation, and you do it without asking for applause. You absorb the stress of everyone around you and you transmute it into stability. You are the rock, and rocks don't scream. So, to every member of Generation X watching this, I want you to know something. We see you. We see the exhaustion in your eyes. We see the weight you are carrying on your shoulders, the weight of a world that demands you fix everything while giving you zero credit. We know you are tired of being the responsible one. We know you secretly wish someone would come and take care of you for once. But we also know that you won't stop, because that is not who you are. You are the generation of survivors. You are the generation of doers. You are the last line of defense against a world that is slowly losing its grip on reality. Your silence is not empty, it is full of strength. Your skepticism is not negative, it is protective. Your self-reliance is not lonely, it is liberating. You don't need their trophies, you don't need their hashtags. You have something better. You have the quiet knowledge that if the world ended tomorrow, and the internet went dark, and the grid went down, you would be fine. You would figure it out, just like you always have. So, take a deep breath, drink some water from the hose if you have to, and get back to work. Because the world isn't going to fix itself, and let's be honest, the other generations aren't going to do it either. It's up to us. As always, if you are proud to be Gen X, hit that like button, share this with the only other adults you know, and subscribe, because we have a lot more truth to tell. Until next time.